It's 6:15. Good morning to you. Having a child with a serious medical condition can be a really overwhelming experience for really the entire family, but there are resources out there. This morning, I'm going to introduce you to the Child Life Team at Diamond Children's in Tucson, a group offering emotional support to families during the most stressful and traumatic times. Back in 2018, Amelia Ellison was diagnosed with an aggressive form of cancer called T-cell lymphoblastic lymphoma.
Everything started really quickly. It went from a bump on her neck to you're gonna spend the next minimum 2 weeks up to a month in a hospital, and then you'll be able to go home for a little bit, and then you're gonna come back, and we're gonna repeat that process for up to 2.5 years or however long it takes.
She was just a couple of weeks into kindergarten, and on top of that, the Ellisons had 2 other kids at home.
And you kind of put yourself on an island. You kind of start to retract from everything else. You kind of try and get away from everything and just try and focus on this one thing. And then you start realizing all the other things that you're letting pass by.
Needless to say, the emotions were intense.
Extreme anger at the situation, extreme sadness. You know, why us? What did we do? Is there something that my wife and I had done to cause this? Is this something that just happened?
Putting a lot of things into perspective.
I couldn't have done this without my parents' support and my sister's support and my brother's support.
Sure.
I'm really thankful.
You're doing great.
But the beauty here is the fact that the Ellisons didn't have to go through this horrible diagnosis alone. Enter the Child Life Team.
A lot of kids might come into the hospital and hear and see all these things that are being tried to explain to them in kind of scary terms. And so we try to come in as just more that comforting presence.
Hospitals can be weird places for kids, but this group of folks at Diamond Children's takes the scary factor out.
Instead of this weird, scary-looking equipment is a new stuffed animal waiting for them on their bed, or a certificate that's a certificate of bravery that has their name on it.
So how do you help a family like the Ellisons transition from devastation to a new journey that you just have to get through?
Part of it is just being their emotional support. Part of it is being, the shoulder to cry on that day, or to vent to about maybe something that has nothing to do with their child's diagnosis.
And speaking of journeys, it's been a long one for the Ellisons, 2.5 years to be exact.
Now I also have something else to say.
Indeed, she does. Amelia's last dose of chemo was in December of 2020. And as we wrapped up our conversation with the Ellisons, I heard something quite profound coming from underneath the mask of this bright-eyed 7-year-old.
Now I know that if I've came this far, that I know that I can finish it.
Powerful words from an inspirational little girl who's beating the odds and spreading some hope along the way. Mark Charter, KGUN 9, on your side.